Today we are going to be talking about a very different vanilla experience, and this is something I thought would be perfect to bring up now, in the hopes of a future fresh vanilla run, or a potential Season of Mastery refresh. In today's video, I will bring up a concept of a different vanilla experience. Now, I'm not saying this is something that should happen, it is just an idea that I think is interesting and has a lot of potential, and I want to bring it to light and get your takes on it, so please let me know your opinion in the comments down below as we go through it. Okay, so here it goes. A progressive vanilla server, but instead of just max level being spread out in phases like in Classic WoW, what about putting the entire leveling adventure into phases as well? This would look something like this. Phase 1, max level 19 and available dungeons, Ragefire Chasm, Wailing Caverns, the Dead Mines and Shadowfang Keep. Phase 2, max level 29, available dungeons, Blackfathom Deeps, the Stockades, Normer Gang, Scarlet Monastery, Graveyard and the Library. Phase 3, max level 39, available dungeons, Razorfen Downs, Razorfen Downs, never can pronounce that one correctly, Scarlet Monastery, Armory and Library, and Uldaman, giving you a challenge at level 39 by doing Uldaman right there. Phase 4, max level 49, available dungeons, Sulfarak and Maraudin. Phase 5, max level 59, available dungeons, all the other dungeons not mentioned so far. And then finally Phase 6, level 60 content. And then they can basically spread out level 60 content just like they did in Classic WoW. So you have 6 phases of level 60 content as well. So phase 6 would be Classic WoW's phase 1, phase 7 would be phase 2, and so on, all the way through vanilla. I also think Battlegrounds should be there from phase 1, that way people can get to level 19 and basically twink out that level bracket, and having those available dungeons and just having that level cap will enforce people and give you a reason to gear out your character at level 19 as well, giving you the chance to have fun in phase 1 before phase 2 comes out. Now, one of the major upsides to having a progressive server like this, which is a major reason why I want to talk about this, is that there will be less focus on endgame and less focus on the leveling phase, especially considering leveling in Classic WoW does take a lot of time. The people who can take time off work and don't have real life commitments will be far ahead of everyone else. But if leveling is capped in stages like this, then it gives everyone a chance and doesn't give someone months of being max level before anyone else. For example, in Classic WoW, like I just said, leveling takes a lot of time. If you are very fast, then it should take you just about 7 days of played time, if you know exactly what you're doing, or you're following a guide like Rested XP, link in the description by the way to check out Rested XP. If you're following a guide, or you know what to do and you played vanilla before, let's say it takes you 7 days of played time, that is 7 days of literally playing 24 hours a day, so if you're playing 12 hours a day, suddenly it takes you 2 weeks. If you're playing 6 hours a day, it takes you a month, and if you're playing 3 hours a day, it takes you 2 months. So in this case, someone who's playing 24 hours a day, which nobody is, but let's just use it as an example, they will be level 60 in week 2, at the beginning of week 2, after 1 week, and if you then are playing 3 hours a day because you have a full-time job, you might have a family, and you have real life commitments, well, they will literally be max level 7 weeks before you are. If you're playing 3 hours a day and they are playing 24/7, they will be max level 7 weeks before you, giving them 7 weeks to clear out max content, to farm gold, do all of the stuff you will do at max level. Let's not pretend like being max level is a massive advantage, and in this case, in Classic WoW, having that time is a massive advantage. So in this case, a progressive vanilla server would cap it, so people who can't play 24/7 still can play, and be not just as efficient, but they won't be as far behind. It would also encourage you to enjoy every stage of the way, rather than just focusing on the end game, just rushing to max level, starting your raid farming right off the bat, and basically when you're playing usually, you just rush to max level, you start raiding, and then you raid log, you get some world buffs, you raid log with those world buffs, and if world buffs are not active, you usually raid log either way, and you might make a brand new character. In this case, leveling, like if you have 5 phases of leveling, let's say each phase is 1 month, that would be 5 months of leveling. Let's say it's just 2 weeks, still low, 2 weeks times 5. That is, that's 10 weeks, that's 2.5 months of leveling right there, and I think this would be perfect. It's something we saw on the Classic WoW beta, and on the beta it really worked out. I understand why they haven't done it yet, but I think it's something they should look into doing in the future. Just like they did on the beta, I think the max level first was level 20, then 30. If I'm correct on that one, I'm not too sure though, I wasn't actually in the beta until the very end, but I think it was level 20 then level 30, and at level 30 you saw like a massive amount of people, Horde versus Alliance meeting in Arathi Highlands. Having those level caps really makes the game very fun, because at that point, they are giving us a game, they're giving us a level cap, and then it's up to the players to make the content. In this case, in phase 1, when max level is 19, the end game content is literally doing Dead Mines and Shadowfang Keep, or Wailing Caverns, like the dungeons we have available at that time will be the current end game. I personally think progressive servers just like this, where levels are locked in phases, would offer a lot of stuff, and it would give these servers a much longer lifespan by increasing the time it takes between each phase and making people enjoy the process rather than just focusing on speeding through it. One of the things that I've personally always enjoyed about Vanilla WoW is that it's such a big world, and it's kind of like Blizzard just gave us this huge world, and then it's up to us to do whatever we want, and I feel like a phasing system like this reinforces that statement, where they are giving us something and letting us do what we want. It's basically the community making the game itself. Like in phase 1, max level is 19, and with those dungeons available, it might sound like a boring phase, but then imagine if you have a bunch of level 19 characters all decked out in Deadmines gear and Shadowfang Keep, running those dungeons over and over again, trying to get the best in slot items, and then everyone meets at the Gurubashi Arena in Stranglethorn Vale for a massive showdown, right? It could be so much fun packed into these phases, even though on principle, like on paper, it could sound kind of boring, but it's up to us as the community and as the players to then make the gameplay, which is something that I've always enjoyed so much about Vanilla. Now, this was just an idea so far, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4 could look very different. Like for example, you could have max level being level 10, then level 20, or you can start at max level 20, it doesn't have to be level 19. These were just my examples based on what I just thought about right now, but level 19, level 29, 39, 49 and 59, it just makes sense due to our current battleground bracket, but it doesn't really matter what the max level is in these phases, it's more about the principle. Either way, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below, I would love to hear your opinion. This is just a wild idea that I just got, but I think this could be really interesting to see sometime. I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this being the first thing happening. I think official hardcore servers or just a regular fresh vanilla rerun could be interesting first of all, but I do think this is something they should look into at some point. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, please, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like, it really helps me out, and I honestly really appreciate it. I'm also streaming my Classic WoW adventures over live on Kick, so if you want to check me out live on Kick, there is a high chance I'm actually live right now. Either way, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.